Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very interesting update from Donald Trump on the Greenland situation. Now, we know that Trump has made comments in the past about potentially taking over the island diplomatically, maybe making a deal with Denmark or Greenland directly, because Greenland is still technically under the control of Denmark, although they do have a lot of autonomy. They were granted most of it in 2009. If we were to make a deal with Greenland, it would probably have to also include some type of stipulation with Denmark, unless we were able to coax Greenland out from under Denmark by having Greenland vote to be independent from Denmark and then doing a deal directly with Greenland. Now, we know that China now is moving on Greenland, and Greenland has said they want to have a free trade agreement to counter what the United States is doing with their tariffs. This is exactly why Donald Trump has come out and said we might have to just secure the island. And it's not even an invasion. They don't have a military. They're not allowed to have one per Denmark. So it's just securing the island. That's all it is. It's like, oh, it's an invasion. No, we're securing the island from China because the Chinese want to have a relationship. Look at this. Greenland courts China in a snub to Trump. This was April 14th. This is during the tariff situation, and we've got the Greenland officials saying that we want China to be part of, look at this, seeking a deeper cooperation with China, potentially a free trade agreement. This is what Trump is talking about. China is very important to us. We're eager to strengthen our cooperation, and they want to give China some form of control of the Arctic and Greenland, and this is exactly what we didn't want to have happen. And by the way, the NATO countries should be against this, and they should be in favor of the United States taking over Greenland. But let's see what Trump says here in terms of Greenland and also Canada, because those are two very, 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 very different situations, Greenland and Canada. You can't say, are you going to take over both Greenland and Canada? There's no way. There's no way any military would go into Canada. We don't want Canada. They're all liberals. We'd be interested in Alberta and maybe Saskatchewan for the resources, and also they're a little bit more conservative. We don't want all of Canada. Trump was trolling, Governor Trudeau, all of it. But we want Greenland. And because of what's going on with Greenland and how badly Denmark and also Greenland have treated Trump, and they've been so disrespectful. I mean, Trump's been very nice. Trump's a sweet angel. And this is the way he gets treated by Greenland, and they say, oh, he's invading and all this. Well, you don't even have a military. So you're lucky you haven't been invaded by an Eastern country, and now you're trying to do a deal with China to undercut our tariff plan. Seriously, this is not allowed. And Trump needs to start using this. They're trying to cozy up to China as we speak. He hasn't talked about it yet, but he needs to if he's going to talk about Greenland. I mean, this is how you fearmonger the propaganda into the American citizens. They're in bed with China. They're in bed with China. What about all the NATO European countries? You think that based off of the location, this is a North American country that's right next to Nunavut. So this is within our area to be able to take over this country because they need help. They don't have their own military. They have horrible infrastructure, and they want to get out from under Denmark. We need the island for security reasons and for mineral reasons, the rare earth elements, the uranium, the zinc, the lead, gold, all of it along the coast. But it's not even just the rare earths. We want an Arctic presence outside of Alaska. And we want control, or at least access, to the Northwest Passage and Baffin Bay, the Davis Strait, important waterways. You're also talking about more access within the Atlantic Ocean as well. So let's see what Trump says in terms of this.
They need us. We don't need them.
You and I talked, and I asked you if you would rule out military force to take Greenland, and you said no, you don't rule out anything. Would you rule out military force to take Canada?
Well, I think we're not going to ever get to that point. It could happen. Something could happen with Greenland. I'll be honest. We need that for national and international security.
But not with
I think
Canada?
It's highly unlikely. I don't see it with Canada. I just don't see it. I have to be honest with you.
Oh.
Well, it can't happen with Canada. We don't even want Canada. There's no military. With Canada, the only way we get Alberta or any of the provinces outside of Trump really being aggressive, maybe with the territories because he wants Arctic control, which I haven't seen yet. The only way we get any of the provinces is through them wanting to join the United States. through a referendum. So with Canada and that's population, I mean, when you're talking about a territorial expansion, one of the most important things is the population. You don't want to add a lot of people. You're watering down the United States when you do that. And so that's why I'm even against a lot of the Canadian acquisitions, things like that. I mean, I'll look at Alberta and Saskatchewan, the resources with the oil and gas, but in general, we're not looking for Canada. We're not looking for a military invasion of Canada. The reason Trump says, well, there might have to be something that happens to Greenland, it's because, and I don't know where the situation is right now. There was a few months ago, it was reported that the Trump administration was talking about, this wasn't a few months ago, it was maybe like 1 month ago. They were talking about maybe bribing the citizens of Greenland with $10,000 or $30,000, whatever it was, per person to, I mean, ideally, you would also bribe the officials there, the government officials, to be able to do something. But if we don't see any movement in terms of that, we really don't. If Trump wants Greenland, there's not a lot of options left. We've tried talking to Denmark. They were extremely disrespectful. We tried talking to Greenland. They're saying, well, we want to be independent of Denmark, but we don't want to join the United States. J.D. Vance couldn't even make a public appearance in Greenland because of the people there saying, we don't want any U.S. presence here. And that is propaganda and brainwashing by the EU, by the European liberal countries. Greenland is a proxy to the EU because of Denmark. So that's the issue. So Trump is sitting there like, we're trying to do this diplomatically. But the thing is, this is the problem. You have to offer these people something. If you actually want to do it diplomatically, offer them something, then maybe they accept. If they don't accept, then we're going to have to secure the island. That's what Trump is saying, I think. So, it's like, oh, military action. It's really not what it is. It's they don't have it. Greenland is not going to fight. The only way we would fight anyone on Greenland is EU, NATO countries, or countries in Europe that do not like the United States presence on Greenland. That's why it came out that France was sending troops to Greenland, which I think is just unbelievable that they would disrespect their daddy, the United States, who by far is the biggest superpower, number one huge presence within NATO. We're the reason NATO is as strong as it is, why Russia's scared about invading any NATO country. But they want to disrespect us and send troops to Greenland? Seriously? Do you know who you're dealing with? It's just the disrespect that Trump has to put up with these European countries. They really need to be punched in the mouth, these European countries. I'm not saying invade them, but at some point, the pompous, the arrogance, the liberalism has gotten to these countries, and now they're trying to rearm. So we'll see if they're able to do that. But certainly their military might has dissipated. Although with France, I mean, I don't know how much of a worse performance going back to the World War II, 1939, 1940, the surrender against Nazi Germany with Blitzkrieg, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, when you look at a situation like this, Trump is saying, well, listen, we've tried to do a lot for the people of Greenland. It's time we offer them something. It's time we offer their officials something. And if that doesn't work, there's going to have to be something done to where we secure the island, because we've tried with these people if they don't want to do it. Now, the other thing is Denmark. And you would think Denmark, if they didn't have this crazy TDS, they would be interested in making a deal with the United States for the U.S. to acquire Greenland, so at least Denmark could get something out of Greenland in terms of money. Like, we'll pay you $30 billion, we get rights, control of Greenland, and then we would also give a good deal to the people of Greenland so we could get off on a good foot with them. The key with Greenland is there's only 57,000 people. There's nobody on the island. It's so unique in terms of a territorial expansion. It's all undeveloped, it's all uninhabited, and it's also uninhabitable because of the glacier within Greenland. It's just the coastline where there are cities. So, and that's where the mining would be done until maybe there's some glacier melt, and then you move inland, I should say, and you potentially are able to extract even more in terms of the minerals. When it comes to the rare earth elements, I mean, they say it's almost as much as the United States, and that's not even including what's hidden under the glacier. I mean, Greenland is very rich in terms of they have like the biggest untapped rare earth element mining field anywhere on Earth. So this is serious stuff, and so if you're Trump and you're looking at this, we are trying to do it diplomatically. Trump is already kind of on a bad foot just in terms of how he's viewed by the EU. And again, it's Greenland. They're a proxy to the EU. So they have a lot of brainwashed type thinking to where they hate Trump and they think he's evil and they think he's this terrible fascist and everything like that. It's like, oh, it's imperialism. You're taking over. Well, there's 57,000 people there. They don't have a military. It would make sense for the United States, who's got a much bigger capacity, who already has a military base in northern Greenland. Anyways, we've had one since World War II. We controlled Greenland during World War II. We tried to buy it in the 50s. It didn't go through. We controlled it when Denmark rolled over against Nazi Germany early in World War II. That happened. But see how we never get credit for any of this stuff? It's just all this, like, grasping and pearl clutching, like, how dare you? Well, no, they don't even have a military. We're trying to secure we want to mine important rare earths, and we're going to give them something just like we did with Alaska. When we bought Alaska from the Russian Empire in 1867, they became a state. They got a piece of what was extracted from Alaska. The people of Alaska did. So the people of Greenland are probably going to get something. We have to make the full investment. This is our investment. Do you think they have mining operations set up on the coasts of Greenland? They don't. They're going to get something. Their lives are going to get better. It's going to be who do you think is going to give the people of Greenland higher standard of living? The United States or Denmark? Look at the capability of the economies. It's not even close. So, but all of this needs to be explained, and you try and do this, and it's just like, it seems like the administration has not had a clear message when it comes to trying to court the people of Greenland. It's like, well, we want it for security and it's important, but you have to tell the people why their lives will be better with this acquisition, not just through security, because it's a situation like Canada to where, based off of where they're located, they're smack dab in the middle of NATO. But Greenland is right next to, it's right to the east of Canada. But you've got Europe, you've got the United States, Canada, but it's closer to the United States and Canada. It's way closer to North America than it is to Europe. And that's the point. That's why it's more of a North American country, North American island. It is classified as an island. It's a massive island, but the point of it is we would like the people to... The issue is just trying to control the public narrative of something like this. It's very hard to, because the second you say something about, we might have to, and I really wish Trump would just say we might have to secure the island rather than say we might need to invade or whatever. You don't want to use verbiage like that. But whatever it ends up being, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be seen as like aggressive, rather than what we want to do is we want to show how dumb this current agreement is between Denmark and Greenland, where Greenland has already, their top two parties that just won the recent election said they want separation from Denmark. And that's with Denmark giving them 25% of their GDP through subsidies. So see how stupid this is. It's like Denmark cannot hold up Greenland and patrol that entire island. We already have a military base. That's where J.D. Vance visited, was the military base within Greenland. So I would say Trump continues to say, well, military force might be on the table. Well, have we offered them something? If we keep offering them something, they deny it, then we're gonna have to secure the island possibly. I mean, I don't know how invested Trump is into doing this. This is a legacy play for Trump. This is 30, 40, 50 years down the line, we start extracting all of this stuff. We have a northern presence. We control the Northwest Passage, and Trump understands that that's very important for his legacy. And also it's a territorial expansion. And also on top of that, we're not ruining the fabric of the United States like we would be if we added Alberta, especially as a state, because Greenland would not be a state. They would not be a state for a long, long time. Remember when Alaska joined the United States, when we bought Alaska? They were not a state. There was migration up there, and if there was migration to Greenland, it would probably be more conservative people based on the climate. And then maybe eventually 20, 30 years, it gets 3 electoral votes. But this is why Greenland is a much better option than any of Canada. We're not really changing anything at all. We're just acquiring a territory that's going to give us more of an Arctic presence. We're not adding 5 or 6 million American citizens now. This is 57,000 people. So that's why the situation requires Trump to really say, well, look, we need it badly. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No one else is talking about it, but they just smear Trump as this fascist, and it's like you immediately turn the citizens of Greenland against you. It seemed like we had at least a little bit of footing back in January when Don Jr. visited, but then it just turned real negative. And then when Vance visited, he couldn't even do a public appearance. He had to cancel because the people of Greenland did not want the United States to be there or want to take over, and that is from brainwashing directly by Denmark and other EU countries who hate Trump. They're all very, very liberal. They're all heavily globalist, and they do not want the United States to have a presence for whatever reason, but they would much rather have China have a presence, right? See, that's why Trump needs to use this as propaganda. Oh, Greenland courts China. I would secure the island today. I mean, if this is true, like this is not going to happen. But where are the European countries in this? Do you want China to have a presence within Greenland, which is smack dab? It's not in the middle, but it is. It's North America and Europe, and there's Greenland. So you want China to have a presence in Greenland over the United States? Really? You have that much TDS? Come on. But the point here is maybe this could happen to where we can really get the people, the public on our side and be like, yeah, China's gonna, this is serious. Greenland is courting China. This is a response to the United States trying to just fracture the Chinese when it comes to trade. And that's why we're trying to make all these trade agreements. Now Greenland's like, oh, we'll make a deal with you. You can have Arctic control in exchange for free trade with the fish and everything. They've got like a huge fishing industry. This is total crap, and this cannot be allowed, and Trump needs to use this. That's why I said like 2 weeks ago when this came out, it's big, and Trump should look into it. They updated on the 28th. What is the update? I don't know what the update is on this, but look, Trump he's serious about Greenland. He's really been serious about it. Canada, we don't want Canada. They're too liberal. We don't want that. We don't want more people with the United States. It waters down the country. We're interested in Alberta if they have a referendum and they're interested in joining the United States because of their natural resources and they're more conservative. We're not interested. I'd be interested in the territories as well because it's very similar to Greenland. Small population, extremely cold. They're right next to Alaska. I mean, just take the territories and then take Greenland, and you've got full control of all those Arctic waterways. But I don't think that's going to happen. Trump's never said he wants any of the territories. And it's like, with Canada, I mean, that is a country. It's like, what are we going to do? We could get them, but is it worth it? Is it worth fracturing relationships? I don't know what these European countries really want us to do. Greenland is in bed with China. So what are we supposed to do about that? Greenland doesn't want to be a part of Denmark either. We can help these people. We got off on the wrong foot. Let's reintroduce ourselves to the people of Greenland and let's say, listen, we're going to give you money. Trust me, the China umbilical cord, it doesn't work. It's bad. You don't want to be a part of that. And by the way, the European countries should say, yeah, we're not allowing this. There's no way China is going to gain a significant foothold in between us and the United States and our NATO agreement. This is not going to happen. So hopefully our NATO brothers who have just treated us so horribly, we've been funding this war. Now we're giving Ukraine more money, give them a better chance at a peace negotiation, possibly more leverage, but we still get told how bad Trump is. But can our NATO friends step up with us? Can our NATO friends endorse us taking Greenland? Can we get something, please? We've done 100 things for NATO. They can't give us this one thing. We've given you $180 billion. We can't get Greenland. I guess not, but maybe something will happen. Maybe Trump will be able to say, listen, this is bad what China is doing. They're trying, and Greenland seemingly is wanting China. They're the ones offering the free trade agreement, according to this article. Astounding. Just astounding. And so Trump needs to use this article. This is all the propaganda. Just use the fear-mongering. Fear-monger the American people. And also, we want to have a better relation. We got off on the wrong foot with Greenland. We got off on the wrong foot. Europe needs to understand. They need to allow us. Really, maybe we can get Europe on. I think the ship has sailed on getting Europe on our side with Trump. They're just too liberal. They're too globalist. They hate when a country wants to protect itself from the invasion of immigrants, and it's unfortunate. But those countries seemingly are waking up. There's more right-wing movements, and they're getting a little bit further right. The problem is, anytime you get an actual right-wing movement in Europe, they'll smear you with. Oh, they're far right. Oh, it's 1933 all over again. And then they call everyone a national socialist. But yeah, either way, guys, I do think that Trump is serious about Greenland. And look, we lay out the options and we do a diplomatic thing and we offer them something. And if they don't want to accept it, there's going to have to be some type of security of the islands. We're going to secure the island. That's what I think is probably going to happen if Trump is serious about this. But that doesn't change anything within the United States. It's not globalism. It's 57,000 people. This is 57,000 people. Was it globalism when we took Alaska? I mean, we annexed Hawaii. This would be, I mean, this is just, it's such a good opportunity. Greenland is not sovereign. They're controlled by Denmark, and they don't want to be. So where is the outrage by other European countries for Denmark holding them? And they're like, oh, but Denmark has a historical claim. Yeah, so do we. We should have just kept them in the late 1940s when Denmark got overrun by Nazi Germany, and they were conquered by, or at least they were invaded and controlled by the Germans. And we said, and we also saved Iceland as well. But we get no credit for any of that. That's fine. Oh, but Lend-Lease, we spent the most money in World War II out of any country. We don't get any credit for that. Okay, that's fine. No, it's perfectly okay. But either way, guys, we'll see what happens with Greenland. Make sure you like this video down below. Follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.